Here we go. Stay there, please. Thank you. Come on. Anyways, I really wish thing would stay, but alright. Welcome back to L.E.G.I.O.N, Comic Corner, Classic Less Known Classics. This is episode number 3296. And Doubleshot number 3190. Today we're reviewing, for this episode, we're reviewing issues from the series L.E.G.I.O.N. You know, the series started back in 1989 and concluded in, I think it was 1994, I think it was, 4 or 5. So, we're here discussing for the series issues 32 through 56. Why the high amount? Because a lot happens here. So, we get some recruits here. We get Shadowlass's ancestor meeting basically her mother in these issues. Not long after this one's called New Recruits, obviously for 32. Now, I should put out about the creative team about these issues. Now, for 32 to 39, it's Alan Grant and Barry Kitson. After 39, Alan Grant leaves the book, but he does come back for issue 52 to do a solo issue, and that's it for him for this series. Barry Kitson himself would do issues 40 50 solo, and basically continuing what him and Alan Grant were basically doing. 51 is the start of Mark Waid's run for the book, which sadly didn't last very long because I think he had been the final writer of the series. Because, 51 was just a fill-in, and then basically 53 took over full-time. And he does 53 through 56. He does basically also 57 58 as well. The reason why I'm reviewing the 56 because I want to close this gap between 31 and 57. That's the main reason for it. So, one of the plot threads they have going on in these issues is that, Virodox gets engaged somehow to this mysterious woman, and somehow this causes them to disband Legion. And the rest of the organization is like, that's a stupid idea. Imagine all the prisoner stuff, and basically, despite the fact that it was put out there Legion disbanded, members of the organization are like, no, ignore that message, because he's been completely... Basically, from a reader's perspective, is that Virodox is being irrational. And it turns out he actually is. Because this woman that he gets engaged to, turns out she's actually the daughter of a crime boss. Which Viro does kill, and then basically establish they have Legion's back. And then, not long after this, basically, by the way, this whole storyline, it starts with issue 30, I think it was 30 something, I think it was. Let's see. What was the issue that started off the... Okay, there's also up here with Lobo, where he basically is just... Oh, by the way, the father of this particular woman that Bio gets involved with, his name is Maximin Grodd, and he gets killed off by issue 39. He just made his debut issue 30. Yeah, so... Basically, it's Lobo is doing his own thing, not getting involved with the main story. But by the way, Barry Kitson himself, aside from being the co-writer, he's also the artist. Yes, believe it or not, a lot of the, by the way, the artwork for these covers is mostly done by Kevin McGuire, Carl Kitzler, and Laverne Kinsky, I think it is. Yes. My guess is probably Alan Grant. Actually, Alan Grant was probably... I'm guessing this was probably Keith Giffen's idea to bring on this book because he had stopped being the artist for Justice League International, so He probably figured, oh, hey, could you do the artwork for, you do the covers for Legion? I guess he was like, sure. He would do up until issue 39, which is when Alan Grant left the book. He would do about 2 more issues. He would do the covers for 43 and 44, and that is it for him as the cover artist. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so basically the character of Linda Mill, who's a daughter, she's actually part of Legion. Her mother was actually a member of Legion as well, and she got killed off by 21, and she appeared later on as a ghost. Yeah, she appeared in issue 53 as a ghost, and also 55 as well. Yep. So you're probably curious though, what was the issue where Bach disbanded the Legion? 35. And, well, one of, I think it's, no, not that one. It was one of the members, I think it was, I think it was Stretta. Yeah. She was not happy with Viro disbanding Legion. Captain was like, wait. Like, don't worry. Like, don't hit him. Because I will. BAM! Yeah, he punches Virodox right in the face. Yeah, Captain Comet did that. Yep. So, Legion acts like basically... Now, the whole organization just ignores Virodox's thing of like, Legion disbanded because they actually don't buy it. It's supposed to be celebrating, not disbanding. Yeah, it turns out that the reason why he's acting this way is revealed later on that he was under mind control by his own fiancée. Which, of course, later on he kills basically her father, which he was not planning on doing, and then with that, Legion's back. And also with basically the guy's death, well, basically, yeah. They do mention at the end of the issue, like 39, it's like, oh, Alan Grant retires because basically 39 is his last issue. Well, his last regular issue, though he does come back for issue 52. Not 52, yeah, 52 I think it was, yes. So, Legion's back, and Barry Kitson is the sole writer and artist, which works out fine. They pretty much basically do like normal stuff. Like it's basically standalone for a bit. Oh, by the way, we have Daryl Brenton who's in the covers for this book at this period of time, and its covers are gorgeous. Yeah, he also did issues 27, 20, and 31. He basically is back here for 40 to 42, and then he leaves. Not sure why. Oh, I should probably show off these amazing covers. Like that here, that's Kevin McGuire. He did that cover. Let me show off issue 40's cover. And I love this cover. I mean, look at that cover. It is so gorgeous. And I love the inking for it. The thing looks so good. It's a shame the guy didn't do any covers. Nope, he just did 3 issues and that was it. Yeah. Now, pretty much during this period of time, basically, where the Legion itself, not Viro does not know about this until later, that Viro's got, but basically they introduced to Stealth's son. Yep, they get introduced him during this period of time. Yep. And they're surprised the fact that he had, that basically Viro, now Viro himself basically does not know at this point in time that he has a son. Yes. So he does not know a little bit later. So after 43, he's mysteriously disappears in the book. So after doing some space stuff for a few issues, where at one point, basically, Legion takes over a planet for a few issues because the government's unstable, so legally, he actually can't, according to him, legally he can take control of the government, very briefly, and try to get rid of this virus stuff. which all wraps up, and then all of a sudden Hal Jordan shows up in the book for a few issues. Yes. Also, Barry Kitts himself, after 43, he stops doing the interior. You're thinking, why the heck did Barry Kitts stop doing the interior? I have no idea. He'd been doing the interior of the book since issue 1. Yes, since issue 1. He really missed 2 issues, just 44 and 45. He's back with 46, and he would do the interior work up into issue 50, take 2 issues off, come back for issue 53, 54, 55, skip 1 more issue, and then 57 to be his last issue he'd do the interior for. So this whole thing with the planet stuff, that wraps up by issue 46. By 47 begins a very weird, after the whole thing with Lobo. Basically the next few issues basically involves, well, Legion taking out a slavery ring, which Stealth has to go undercover, and then of course this mysterious leader of this organization turns out to be Viral's ex-fiance, who kidnaps basically... Yeah, Igna's back in these issues. Yeah, she's back. She wants revenge for Viral murdering her father. Which, these 3 issues in particular serve as Barry Kitten's exit from the series. Yep. And she also at one point takes Viral's son hostage, Lyral. And Viral didn't know he had a son. Not at all. Eventually he does defeat his ex-fiancée, he gets his son back. And basically, well, he needs his memory as his father because Viral has no idea to be a parent. So, of course, by the age 50, basically, everybody is with the fact that their boss is, in fact, a parent. And Stealth the mom. Despite the fact how this basically happened was that Stealth raped him. Yes, I'm not kidding about that. Stealth raped Viral because she went into... mating season, whatever, and I guess that she decided to do it with Viral. Yeah. Oh, in case you're curious though, Viral, in case so many people forget about this little factoid, he is the son of a longtime Superman villain, Brainiac. Yes. Yes, he is. And here's something really weird about Brainiac. Some of you might be asking this particular very interesting question about Brainiac. So, does Brainiac actually appear in the Legion comic book? Yeah, somebody might be curious about that, so let's answer this particular very pressing question. Did he ever appear in Legion? He appeared in the opening issue, issue 23, and the annual. I think these are like cameos. Let me look here. So in the case of issue 1 was a flashback. For 23, it was a flashback. The annual, he did appear in the annual, but in the main series, he never interacted with his own son. Basically, he didn't appear full time in the Legion series until the series Rebels, Volume 2, which I will talk about that in the future, and I'm looking forward to talking about that one. And I got appreciated. Now, also, I should point out though, Mark Waid comes in as a co-writer with issue 49. Yep, he comes in as a co-writer, and issue 50 is definitely double size, and it's Barry Kitts' exit for the series. There's even like a 67 version of Legion that appears as a backup story. It's not canon, but it's in the case of basically 50 was really good. Now there's also a species known as Wraith, these weird creature associated with Grodd, the alien. He gets killed off page 50. They also got a couple other characters. They also got one of the recruits. but he comes back somehow. Yeah, and that's Barry Kittson's run. 51 is basically about Lobo and Telepath. Yep, it's a Lobo issue. And this is Alan Grant's sole return to the series with Enrique Ante on the artwork. 52 is basically Barry Kitson to come back. I kind of forgot he came back for this one issue here. But you can think of 50 more like his finale. This feels like a bonus issue. Wade basically took over this book full time. Where basically it is just dealing with stuff for the past with issue 52. 53 is more stuff for the past. It's basically dealing with well, it deals with Laudera's planet. Yeah. And we see the ghost of Lester Miller appears in these issues. The stuff here also with Lady Quark as well, where her late husband appears in these issues as basically a hallucination. Yes, her late husband Karnak, yeah, appears as a hallucination. Yeah, though he did kind of appear in the 4th annual, but he did appear as hallucination in the main book. Yeah, and then by 56, however, you would think, is Barry Kitson off the book at that point? Oh yeah, he is. They do kill off the character of Jay Ravo, which it seems like this character was meant to be a modern day take on Bouncy Boy, until he got freaking impaled by a spear. Yeah, except he was a massive dick. Yeah, and that's pretty much basically the issues in a nutshell. Now, is in fact issue 55 Barry Kitson's last issue he would do as a writer for this book? Let me take a look about that one. Well, actually, no. He would. I thought 50 was I thought it was extra for the series. I was wrong. So you actually would do 2 more issues for this book. Yep, 2 more issues. Because I've already reviewed 50 and 50 already. But he would do 2 more issues of this book, and that's it as the writer. How about the artist? How about as the artist of this book? Well, he been the artist issue 1. 57 definitely will be his last issue he did as the artist for this book. But what do I give Legion issues 32 to 56? I give these issues a 9.5 out of 10. These issues were excellent. Alright, so next up we have is, well, I was originally planning on, well, doing all 18 issues of this series, but given issue 7 begins a new direction for the series, I figured, though, why not basically just do the first 7 issues of the series. And this is Kurt Busiek and Tom Grummett's Power Company, comprised of Kirk DePaul as Manhunter, led by Josiah Power, a metahuman empowered by the events of Invasion. Now, the main reason why I picked doing this book, because this was, in fact, this book here was the next major appearance of, excuse me, it was the next major appearance of a certain character. Now, basically, this book appears as a backdoor pilot in JLA 61. Yeah, it seemed like JLA, that series, DC love having sort of that book serve as a backdoor pilot to many books. Not only this series, but also JLA Elite, Aquaman. Yes, Aquaman had a his Volume 6 started as a backdoor pilot from the book, except Kurt Busiek didn't write that main book. He wrote that story, but he didn't write the main thing. We also did backdoor pilot John Byrne's Doom Patrol. Yeah, DC loved doing that for that book. Okay, so members are, of course, Manhunt, obviously, Bork, Stalker Z, and Witchfire. And mostly put, there's a lot of press conferences in these issues where, and Kirk DePaul, seems like the way that Kurt Busiek writes him is, well, the guy is very arrogant. Yes. And they fight basically a barrage of villains with these issues. Like fighting a group called Strike Force, a group of characters who, well, a group of mercenaries who fought the All-Star Squad back in the 80s, and they're the main villains of the first 4 issues of the series. There's also the Cadre, another group of characters. These characters debut in the pages of Just Like America. And they're here for the first issue, they come back issue 5, and they come back a few more times after this. There's also longtime Wonder Woman, Dr. Cyber. Yep. Except this version debuted in JLA 61. But she is technically a Wonder Woman villain. Excuse me. She went fighting Wonder Woman in her main book twice. Well, this version anyway. She's basically here for this book first 3 issues. Yeah, it's weird though, the fact that you have clearly, like, Dr. Cyber is a Wonder Woman villain. And she only fights her twice. Not sure why. It's just for some weird reason DC just didn't think of pushing her as a Wonder villain despite the fact she is. And we also debut a group known as Dragoneer. And he's a original villain for the series. He's here for the first 3 issues. And then he comes back in the final issue of the book. There's also a surprise guest star in one of these issues. Yes. So after fighting these characters for the first 5 issues of the series, yes. Yeah, so after fighting all these villains, after issue 5, by the way, we do have a cameo by Javelin and Cobra in a dream sequence. By issue 6, this becomes interesting. We have Green Arrow appear in the book. Yes, Green Arrow. And I think this may have been one of the rare times Kurt Busiek ever wrote Green Arrow, because Kurt Busiek never wrote the Green Arrow series. Never did. And he appears there for a couple issues. Actually, just one single issue. And that's all I'm going to discuss here, per se. Yes, because issue 8 begins a new direction for the series. A direction that is kind of weird. But as for the first 7 issues of Power Company, quite interesting set of issues. Because, yeah, they're a mercenary team who just fights other mercenary teams. And surprisingly, this book only lasts 18 issues. You would think, oh, that maybe this book will last a little longer given its concept, and you have Kurt Busiek on charge. No, not the case. The book was quickly canceled, probably due to low sales, presumably. Yep. So yeah, that is pretty much it for the particular video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications. Next up, one more Comic Corner, and then it's on the G-Bot. Okay, next video, bye.